very good morning to you watching the Kokoliriko live show this hour of the morning. It is the first show on Western television with me, Farish Majid, and today I know I must be a new face to you, some of you, and I may not also be a new face to also you, the ardent viewer of the show, and with that we are already here. And today is the fourth day into the first month of the year, that is January, and the year is already running at a terrible speed. And this is the very time also for you to start making plans of how your year is going to be like and what are some of the things that maybe you want to do in the due course of the year 2024. And this is when you need to also start making plans. And it's not only remain on the plans, and you also need to have ways and dreams and some of the things that you're going to be doing to see to it that you achieve the plans that you are laying at the beginning of the year. The year just beginning, in a special way, I want to welcome you back from the festive season that did come in with a lot of celebrations, that came in with a lot of excitement among the locals. And this was witnessed with a number of discos within the areas, with a number of happening places that we did see in the due course of the festive season. But now it's time for you to start being serious. This is when we need to start doing serious things, because the year has already begun. If we do not do this, at the end of the day, we're also going to be running out of out of our plans. Maybe at the end of the day, the year may run without us achieving some of the things that maybe we would have done if we did concentrate. And this is when I also want to encourage parents to see to it that they up their games, because the children are now remaining with very few days to go back to school. And this is not only the parents, I also do understand that some people are guardians, caretakers of their siblings or their children, perhaps, their brother children, perhaps. This is also time for you to start planning ahead of time, because this is a time where we need to start making plans for our children to go back to school, because very soon, we may be saying February is very far, but not. It is really around the corner, and quite a number of things have been happening. People have been spending unnecessarily, and for those who have been spending planningly. So I think I also want to implore you to start making plans for your children, because I've seen some of the schools already purchasing food. That means that school is really around the corner. But I also want to warn them against opening before the time of the official opening date, because some of the schools may also be wanting to open very right now, yet it is really wrong, because the children are meant to be home. They are meant to relax for the third term holidays, which is still extending until the period of February. I do not expect to see schools opening up right now for holiday studies, which is quite wrong, which is not good, because the children need enough rest. And really, I want to caution school owners, the directors. This is mostly to the private schools. You may want to open right now, which is really quite wrong. It is not called for, because the children need time. And this is because if we open right now, if we start engaging them in learning right now, at the end of the day, it is going to make them really tired. By the time we expect them to be serious, we expect them to be hardworking, they're really tired, because they started engaging them very early, which may also drastically affect their performance in terms of understanding, leaving them with no option of cramming. So this is where we need to have children still home. We need to have them still enjoy their holidays, extend with their holidays. But to the children also, this is also time when you need to start preparing for school. You need to start changing your mind that school is really around the corner, so that you start preparing when there's still time. Because really, if you are to be observant, some of the children are now loitering within the streets, and this is why I also want to really pray that the time for them to go back to school approaches so fast. Because recently, as I was moving around the streets, I was able to see a number of children moving at night, and really some of them were moving without any proper sense of direction, which is really quite uncalled for. Because at the end of the day, these are our children. These are the children that will be the future leaders of tomorrow. We say children of today are the future leaders of tomorrow. This has always been the saying. But now, if we are keeping our children to loiter anyhow in the streets, moving without any proper sense of direction, going to these happening places, sometimes really some of the examples and life lessons that they pick from there may not be that good. So I think this is where I also want to caution parents against leaving their children moving freely anyhowly, because if they do not ensure proper control of their children, we're also going to be seeing our children messing up, which may also not be good for us. So I think I want to also encourage parents to still ensure that they be in charge of their children within this period here. I do not expect to see parents, or I do not want to expect parents to say that their children have defeated them. How does your own child, which you produced, defeat you? So this is something that I really disagree with most parents who really have that saying, because right now we are also talking about children growing wings to the extent that they grow out of control. So I think this is something also where I want to really ensure and call our parents to see to it that they still go back to the roots of children being for the community. And our children really should be for us all. And if anybody punishes your child for the wrongdoing, I think we shouldn't take any actions towards them. We shouldn't hate them. We shouldn't condemn them, because they are doing it for the betterment of our children. Because the children of today are the future leaders of tomorrow. Not only leaders, perhaps, because not everybody is going to be a leader, but they can still be leaders in your homes. So I think this is where I also want to really call parents to ensure that their children are safe within this period here. And moving on from that, I believe quite a lot has been happening right from the festive period and up to now. A lot of excitement is still among the people, and ranging from Arua City to other places, I really do understand that excitement is really so high. And now if we move to Arua City, one project that has really excited the locals is the installation of the solar lights that are currently going on in most of the streets within Arua City. This has actually left a section of the people within Arua City quite excited about the project, and most of them are actually very, very happy and welcoming the project. But the question that is really in their minds is the sustainability of the project and how long it will be. I want to also assure them, because the leaders have said this solar project that is currently being undertaken is under USMID, and USMID is infrastructure development support to municipals and cities, and this is where the funding was actually got to really install these solar panels. And the project, worth 1.4 billion Ugandan shillings, is actually already being rolled. And yesterday, as I was interacting with the city mayor, that is what Risam Nyakwa, he did comment that this project was actually long overdue, except that the person contracted to do the works did take long because of delays, maybe in terms of procurement of the equipment and other areas. So I think this is where it took long. But the timing of installation is really quite good, and we have seen it really already happening and really helping the people around the city. And the border riders who have really been prone to insecurity have really raised praises towards the city council for the installation of the solar project. So I think this is really something that is quite good, where we also want to salute the officials of the city council. We want to praise them in a special way, because if this money was put into any other use, we would have actually seen it maybe being misused. But if they are putting it into projects that we are really seeing, this is really quite good. And the 1.4 billion Ugandan shillings solar installation projects has actually been rolled, and we have seen Avenue Road already receiving the solar lights, and we also expect Pajulu Road. This is actually the road of Idiofe, which many of you call it, but this is the Pajulu Road. We have also seen the installation going to be taking place on these streets here. We have seen the vehicle moving, and these people are really doing their work. And looking at the equipment, it really looks quite durable compared to the others, but we do not expect people to vandalize the equipment, because they are there to really help the masses, the ordinary people, against insecurity, because insecurity is really one thing that has been affecting the city so much. It is really one that has been dragging down the city council so much down. And yesterday, actually, Muzaid Kemis, the mayor, Central Division, has actually called for the youths of Central Division this time round, because this is one area, because Central Division, in most of the places, this is where criminality has been so much high. And he actually called the people of Central Division, most especially the youth, this time round to be quite vigilant, to be quite good people. He expects them actually to be agents of change this year, because this is 2024, we are just 4 days into the new year, and this is January. So I think we are just beginning. The year is still very young, it is still very small, and really it has not grown. And so I think we can actually change and have dreams and aspirations for this year. Come 2025, we shall be able to really evaluate and see what we have achieved. And this is where he actually called the youths, because he knows that criminality has been so much within the areas, most especially areas of Oli. If you talk about San Siro, these are areas within the Central Division. And when you move to the city center, because Central Division houses the Arua City, actually, it is actually the urban center mostly. And this is where criminality is so high, because if you look at issues of urban settings, and remember when we still go way back in primary school, when we are studying SST, when we came to geography, one of the disadvantages that was actually put into connection to urbanization was actually the high crime rate, and really we are already seeing this in Arua City. So I think the mayor was right to call his people to really be agents of change. He urged them to change. So I think with the installation of the solar lights, this is also going to improve on security, because people have been losing their property in broad daylight sometimes, and at night, when the night is still young, as early as 6 p.m., people hide in these dark corners to really grab property of people who are moving, most especially the women who have been so much vulnerable to this, and people who do not actually know the city, the visitors who may be also moving without any proper sense of direction because they do not understand the basics or the operations of the city, who have been really suffering when it comes to that issue there. So I expect the solar light to address this challenge. We really hope it is going to be one that may be also really address the issues of insecurity, because this has been welcomed with a lot of excitement. So many people have been actually commenting good about the installation of the solar lights, but for those who have been commenting badly, their issues have actually been in relation to the sustainability, how long these projects are going to be in place, and what exactly is going to be done when it comes to protection of the equipment, because installation is something, but the sustainability is really another, because when you just install, when you do it for the first time, when you implement the project, when you leave it without being supervised, the batteries may get worn out. And if you look at most of the solar panels that we have previously installed, some of the batteries, we do understand that really had problems more so along Inyao Road. This is where we also had problems, because some of the solar panel batteries were installed on ground, and because of water, they were also able to really not sustain a long period of time, because they were able to die. And without any proper maintenance, this is not going to yield very much, because the solar lights are really procured, and they are really meant to really help the citizens, because we have been witnessing people's handbags, people's smartphones, people being strangled in these dark corners, because the criminals can hide in these dark corners, and you who is moving and not knowing really of their intentions, you may fall victim. And really this is something that we really want to congratulate the authorities of Central Arua City in particular, really in totality, Arua City in totality, to sit for really ensuring that the solar lights are really being installed. The installation is still ongoing, as I did say earlier on, but from the 31st, we did see them already working. And security operatives have actually commended this. They really said it made their work quite easier, because when we were doing the operations there during their patrols on the 31st, they were able to identify the wrong elements from a distance because of the lights, because it was quite hard for the criminals to start hiding in these places that were really dark corners, because the areas are now lit up. And really this is also something that I want to congratulate the Central Division and Arua City in totality for also for also ensuring that this happens, because we also expect it to be extended now, because this should not only remain within the urban areas, maybe in the street, in the common streets that we know. We also expect it to be extended to the other areas, so that at the end of the day, this will also really help the ordinary people in terms of security, and maybe also in terms of protecting them from the wrong elements within the society. And this is where we really want to call everybody to be vigilant, and this is where the Deputy Resident City Commissioner Ham Mozambique, in charge of Central Division, was actually calling for collective responsibility in terms of protecting the equipment. He did say that if we really work towards protecting the equipment, then nobody is going to fail us down, because if we understand what exactly we are to do, then the equipment are going to be there for quite a long period of time. Nobody is going to destroy them. So I think this is also one area where we need to ensure when it comes to protecting the solar lights, because the solar lights, if we do not protect them, and vigilance, if we do not have it, this is where we're also going to be losing out on the project. They may not be able to sustain the period of time that we expect them to be. So I think this is where I also want to call everybody to be vigilant. If you see anybody trying to destroy the equipment, really rush out to the nearest security operatives and report the case, so that these things are also protected. And to the masses also, to you, the ordinary people, you can also liaise and join hands together to ensure that these things are protected. If you see anybody trying to destroy them, arrest them. And really, we also expect this to be brought on book at one time. And they also need to come out and clearly explain to us where they have been selling this equipment that they have been vandalizing, because vandalism is still one area that is really dragging us down when it comes to issues of development. And this is not only within the street lights, because we also did see people destroying the walkways, more so these pavements that have been put in the streets. People have been carrying them, and you wonder really where somebody is carrying this, and you will get to wonder, because what you really see is not what you expect, because we are talking about development. We are comparing ourselves to other cities, and if we really continue to drag our city down by ourselves, then that is quite unfortunate, because if we are talking about other cities developing at a faster speed, yet we are doing the same things, yet our leaders are trying to implement the same things, but it is us who are letting them down now by stealing and vandalizing these equipment. So I think this is quite unfortunate. This is quite uncalled for, where we also really want to ensure that these things are protected. And if you have any comments, maybe to sit with, that you can really have a say towards protection of this equipment, and maybe what you think can be done to see that this equipment is protected, you can use our various social media platforms and drop your comment there. We shall be also in place to really share on our screens with the other viewers. So I think this is also where we need to really ensure that we protect the equipment. And moving away from that, quite a lot has been happening, really. I do understand that a lot has been happening. And social media really has been awashed by so many messages. And we do understand that recently one of the pastors almost lost his life due to an attempted assassination by some of the ill persons within the society. So I think this is something that has really been a talk of on social media mostly. I think this is something because people are raising questions: who are the killers who have never been brought to book? And people still continue to lose their lives when it comes to issues of gun attacks. This is really something that is quite we need to condemn, because it has been an issue of the national scene. People have really been complaining when it comes to issues of gun attacks that have been so much rampant. If you have to look at it way back in 2017, we did lose Kawesi. We have lost the Justice. We have lost so many people, even our former member of parliament, Honorable Ibrahim Abriga was also shot down by unknown people. So up to now, these people have never been identified. We are just investigating. So I think this is something that we really want to condemn, because unlike him who survived, his bodyguard could not survive, and his bodyguard lost his life actually, but he was able to drive from where the incident happened. This was in Rubaga, and this was on 2nd. Yes, it was on 2nd. This is where around, and this was at about 9 p.m. As he was on his way back home, he was able to be attacked by unknown persons on motorcycles. And we always want to really also raise questions, because the president did call these people as pigs, and he did say that these pigs are going to be identified. But up to now, we have never seen any of the thieves really confessing that he has been the one behind these things here. And we have also not been able to identify the thieves. But really, people, and what we usually do is we arraign suspects before courts. But people still continue to do the same things, and innocent Ugandans still continue to lose their lives when it comes to issues of gun attacks. So I think this is something that really we need to condemn, and we expect security to up their games. And yesterday, the first son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, was able to really raise questions when it comes to the issues of these gun attacks. He was able to demand for these people to be brought before book. So I think this is something that we really also want to see it yielding fruits, because the pastor is also a businessman, and we do understand that he does so many things. He has also been on the limelight for some time. I think he is a public figure, and this is Pastor Aloysius Bujingo, from the lead pastor from House of Prayer Ministries, and this is where he has actually been known for. I think this is something that we really condemn, and he actually did come out clearly and yesterday and comment about the issue. And he said it is only God that protected him, but God was able to really call his bodyguard to be with him. So I think we pray for the soul of the bodyguard to rest in eternal peace. And we also pray that the pastor gets healed so fast, because he did sustain some small wounds. And we really also want to thank the Lord for protecting his life. So I think issues of gun attacks are still going on. And when we talk about gun attacks, so many happened. Even so many happened within the security operatives. We were able to see gunshots, and this is the Uganda Revenue Authority in Madiokolo again, where they were able to shoot and injure 4 people. So I think putting the discussion of Pastor Bujingo Aloysius aside, but still in relation to gun attacks, Uganda Revenue Authority has done it again. This is something that we are really talking about. Last year, if you remember, and not only last year, over the years, we have been complaining of the erroneous impacts of the officers of URA doing their gun shootings. So I think this is something that we really need to condemn, because the gun attacks are not supposed to be used on civilians. And within this week, they also did attack one of the villages in Madiokolo, and they had gone for impounding. So I think they had gone to impound a vehicle that was suspected to be carrying smuggled goods. So I think they were able to shoot the bullets, live bullets in the air. This was to disperse the crowds that were around there, and the bullets were able to attack and really grab also, because bullets sometimes cannot spare anybody. They may not be knowing who exactly you are. That is why sometimes when certain things happen, we should desist away from moving into certain areas. And URA officers, according to the information that we have had, they had gone to impound this vehicle that was believed to be carrying sustainable smuggled goods. So I think it was really quite unfortunate. It was really quite regrettable. It was really not called for, because the bullets were able to attack people who had come to really see what was on ground, not necessarily even those who were behind the smuggling. So I think bullets cannot spare, and nobody actually lost their lives. We have not confirmed anybody losing lives, but what we confirmed was people getting injuries. So I think these bullets were to disperse this people, because the URA officers, according to the information we have got, they were really trying to shoot in the air so that to disperse these crowds that had really gathered around to see what was happening. And with this, we are really going to also put the discussion on hold for some time, and we are going for a short commercial break. And when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation from there. This is the morning updates on Kokoliriko Live Show with me, Farish Majid. And today, really, it is the 4th day, yes, into January, which is the first month of the year. And it's also, at the same time, the 4th day, and meaning that we are only remaining with 1 day to wind up with the show. And the last day will actually be tomorrow, where we expect to bring for you guests and really expound on some of the issues that we are really going to be discussing. And yesterday, before we head into a break, I want to also inform you that the food festival did take place yesterday. It was really quite massive. It was really quite interesting. I do understand that people who went for it really enjoyed. And according to the information we got, for people who did not go like us, we heard really that food was in plenty. You know, food. And with that, we really want to put the discussion on hold for some time. Let's first run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with Star Times upgrade to Kongere promotion. Normal customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings, Copper Bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Hi everyone, my name is Ayot Lillian. I host Real Talk on West Nile TV every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. And I know this time of the year is when we get together with friends, family, our loved ones to make merry and have fun, share joy and love. I would love to wish you a Merry Christmas, and also caution you to be very careful during this season because a lot of excitement takes place around this time. So we should be careful how we, party, and especially how we use the road, because around this time a lot of accidents do occur. So use the road carefully so that it's a safe place for everyone. Otherwise, from West Nile TV, thank you so much for watching us. Keep watching us for more updates and enjoy your Christmas. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
This is time for working hard and producing and able to help somebody who is in need. Able to give to your loved ones. This is time for giving, for God so loved us and gave his only begotten Son. Do not go taking, give, and then you will receive. If you are planning to rob somebody, listen to me carefully, God is not happy with that. If you are planning to steal people's things, God is not happy with that. Destroy everything that makes you an enemy of your neighbor. It's only God who can destroy those tendencies in your life and that habit in your life, so that instead of taking, you are a giver, because we need to demonstrate love in our time. Again, this is not time for sexual immorality, but this is time for us to prepare ourselves to receive the blessing of God. Many of us are going to waste our bodies in going into people's homes and going with people's wives and going with people's daughters, and we are going to waste our lives out there. Listen, this is time for you to open your heart, open your hands, and receive the blessing of God. I speak to people who are listening to me. If you are listening to me and you are in West Nile, my region, will you make your body the temple of the Holy Spirit and guard it? Allow your body to be used to bless our region. Do not destroy somebody's relationship by misusing his wife or his daughter. Allow yourself to be a channel of blessing, because God brings you his life in order to bless other people. Again, this is not time for dancing the whole night. Some people are going to go into dancing spree, in discos and everything the whole night. In my place where I am seated, the devil has only given and deprived people who are wizards to dance at night. Why do they dance at night? Because they dance naked, which they can't do during the day. Why are you deprived of sleep? When you should eat and drink and praise God and go to bed and sleep, then go and worship God tomorrow without an hangover. Dancing at night, going to spend time out there with other women, with other girls, with other men, is not going to give you any benefit of celebrating such a day as this. And this is the time for praises. This is a time for worship of God, because God has given us a gift that we cannot afford.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and you are most welcome back for the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV with me, Farish Majid. In case you're just joining us right now, you're most welcome aboard. This is the first show of the TV, and usually it is where we give you updates maybe on some of the issues that are really trending in the country and in the world at large. So this is where we give you what is happening in and around your vicinities. This is where we give you the updates, maybe into some of the issues where we did not know in the first place. In the first hour already, this was in the first half of the first hour, we did discuss a lot. And we did talk about the installation of solar lights that is really exciting the locals and the leaders within Arua City. And then secondly, we also did talk about the shooting of Pastor Bujingo, because so many things have really been said in relation to this attack. And really so many people have also been able to share their opinions and their views when it comes to these attacks here. So I think we also did talk about much into that line there. And now we are moving with the discussions. And we want to move now to the Aluru Festival that did take place yesterday. This was the 6th edition, and this took place at War in Zombo district. And this was also organized, I believe, by the State Minister for Northern Uganda. This is an event that attracted a number of people, the sons of the soil, the daughters from all places, and really the numbers was huge, witnessed by the number of food festivals that did come for the event. So I think this event was quite good, and really the dignitaries that did attend it, we did have so many people attending. The king was in attendance. The king of Aluru Kingdom, Philip Olakere Obemi III, was in attendance. We did have the minister herself, that is Grace Kuching Freedom, the state minister for Northern Uganda, was also in attendance, because I believe she was also the organizer. So we want to also congratulate her upon the achievement of doing this, because the event was so colorful. And West Nile TV was also able to broadcast this event live for those people who could not be able to travel to Zombo. They were able to also watch from their various places, maybe via YouTube and maybe Zuku also. Remember, when we were on Zuku, we are channel 0073, and for those who were able to really watch us from there, we also want to commend you for the good job, and really for the Aluru people. And we also did understand that the event was so much colorful, and food was really plenty, and so many business people came in around to also share their views with the people. And this time around, this event was celebrated with a call to have trust in God. And why is it that this event was also organized with the call to have trust in God? We do understand the Aluru sub-region has really been recently invaded by the issues of witchcraft that was really so much high, where we did have people really affecting the peace. And these are witch doctors sometimes who have been able to come from the nearing DRC, and these people have been destabilizing people's peace when it comes to the Aluru sub-region in areas of Zombo. We also did have Nebi cases. We also reported from as far as Pakwach. So I think this is also something that where we really want to call upon the leaders to really continue talking to the people when it comes to issues of having trust in God, because really, if you do not have trust in God, that is why you're also going to be having the trust in the witch doctors. And yet some of the times, they may not be telling you the right things. They may also be lying to you because they want the little monies from you, because at the end of the day, you're going to a witch doctor. And really somebody who wants to help you, why will this person really ask for something from you? Because God does not ask for anything from you. God has never asked for any material thing from you. God just needs God wants just your time. God wants you to really have trust in Him. But really, if we start having trust, maybe in terms of having witch doctors, really we go to them. We have seen these people really destabilizing society. We really want to see to it that with the call yesterday, the religious leaders who were in attendance, we had so many people coming in. Major Dick Loom was the MC, and really I want to really also salute him for the good job, because he was able to do quite a good job. Really I want to appreciate, because for us we are able to watch from our screens. I was not able to really travel to War, but I was able to follow the event live from my screen. So I think this is something that really is quite good. I want to appreciate, and I also want to thank the sons and the daughters of Aluru who really graced the event. And food was really plenty. If you could see, I really saw food was really so much, and the organization was quite well. And this 6th edition really took place. This is in War, and we now expect the next edition to be taken to Pakwach, because this is an event that is supposed to be rotated within Aluru Kingdom. It's not supposed to be done in one place. It's supposed to move all the places. And during the first food festival, I do understand that so many things happen. People come together. It is where you also exercise unity, because if we do not have unity, you may not be able to really come together and express and share your opinions and share ideas, actually, where this is also where people learn, because food is really something that attracts people. An environment that has no food, you can just imagine how it will be so much bad, because if we did not have food, and the food festival really attracted a number of these people, and they were able to also share their ideas. And now the state minister from Northern Uganda, who was behind the event, called for unity among the sons and the daughters of Aloro, because she was clear: if we do not have unity, then we are not going to see development in our area. If we do not unite, we are still going to remain that poor region that we are talking of. And if you have to look at West Nile sub-region, it is also actually one of those regions that is still lacking behind when it comes to issues of development. After Northern Uganda entirely, we are still talking about people being in poverty line. So I think this is something that we really also want to really have our say on, because if we do not have unity, then definitely we are not going to be doing a lot when it comes to issues concerning the kingdom. And for the people of the kingdom, this is also quite good, because really dignitaries, we had so many dignitaries who attended this event. We had the soldiers, we had members of parliament, we had various politicians ranging from the district chairpersons. They were all I did see the number of them. The one from Nebi was in attendance. The one of Pakwach also did see him around. And really, this is something that we really want to praise everybody for. This is something that is really quite called for, because unity is really key when it comes to issues of development. Other regions are developing because of the unity, and if we do not have unity, then we are going to be divided. And once we are divided, there's no development. Trust me, there's no development. Nobody should lie to you that a state that is disunited can grow. Nobody should lie to you that. And I want to assure you that if we continue with the spirit of this unity that we exhibited yesterday, then the heights is really not very far. We are reaching development. So I think I also want to thank the kingdom for organizing this, and really their support towards this event was really so much. And we did see the sons and the daughters of the place enjoying. Some of them actually did come from as far as other areas. For instance, in central region, they were able to come from there to really be part of this event. And others came as far as other places, maybe in Eastern, maybe outside Uganda. Others, I believe, might have come outside Africa to really be part of this event, because this event was really so huge. It really attracted a number of people. We did see musicians performing, and the locals were enjoying. We did see them having fun. And the beginning of the year, if it is this funny enough, then maybe at the end of the day, it's also going to be that prosperous year, because really I want to pray that this year should be that prosperous one to you, the view also. So I think really this is something that is quite good, something that is quite appreciated. The 6th edition did go on well. We didn't have any cases. We didn't have any problems that we reported from the event. We are just looking into the 7th edition now, come next year. So I believe it is going to be taking place in Pakwach now, because it is moving from Zombo. It keeps on rotating. We expect it to be moving within all the districts that have a loose sub-region. It is going to be moving in all the places. We expect it to not to be in one place. It is one that is rotational, because if food festival is really done, that we have seen these efforts being appreciated. The food festers, we have really seen them supporting one another, because when one person dies, we did see the MC talking about, this is Major Dikolum, talking about it, that they have really been supporting one another. And this is something also we want to really commend the organizers for, because food is something that really, without it, we cannot exist. Because how would you exist when you have not eaten? At the end of the day, you will be affected by it, because food is something that without which we cannot live. And during funerals, I do understand that these people have been supporting each other. They have really been coming with food, different types of foods. And yesterday, actually, we did see so many different types of foods that are being prepared. We did see them preparing matoke. There was rice, there was meat, there was everything. So I think all the foods eaten by the Aloro people were in presence, and people were able to also really eat, and really it was quite good. And now this time around, there was also a call by the leaders to the people to ensure that for production of food does not stop, because really we are talking about this generation where production of food has really gone down. And if you have to look at people planting, food production really did go down in these areas within the sub-region. When it comes to issues of food production such as matoke, the production had gone down, because these areas of Zombo is one that has fertile soils that was really known as a food basket for the production of maybe a majority of the food products such as matoke. We didn't know that was coming from Paida, and Paida was really an area that was known for production of matoke. And talking about matoke, also cassava was known to be coming very much from these areas, and other fruits. So I think the leaders had a call to the ordinary citizens to see to it that they go back to their roots of food production. The region was known for that area. In particular, I want to interest myself with Zombo, was known as a food basket to Arua city, and most of the matoke that we really did have in this city was coming from this area here. So I think I also want to call the people to really go back to ensuring that food is continued to be produced. So I think if they do not go back to the issues of continuing to produce food, then very soon we shall be hit by hunger, which may also not be good, because really the food that has been coming from that area has been supporting the whole region, and also has been moving out of the region because of the nearness. We are talking about the proximity. DRC is near here, and South Sudan as well is also not very far from the district. So I think this place has been really supporting the people around. So I think this is where we also want to inform the people that the area, there's still a lot of opportunities when it comes to agriculture, more so when it is in line with the food production. We still have quite a lot that we need to ensure that we need to do, because food production is really something that we really need to ensure that we continue doing, because if we do not do that, then we shall be able to really be affected by hunger in the near future. So I think food production still, I want to encourage people, because the market is ready. You may produce surplus, you may not be able to consume everything that you have planted, but the market is still there. Food is something that will never lack market, because we are talking about development. The population keeps on increasing, and the increasing population really needs something to eat. So I think food is really something that we really need to head back. And to the youths who are lying idle, the land is there. If the land is there, why don't we engage in food production? And this is where I want to call upon every youth who has been lying idle in the training centers to go back and start ensuring that they go ahead, they head into food production. And also the men as well. I also do understand that men in this region have also sometimes left food production to women alone, because when it moves in these villages, you will find that these sofa sets that have been put in place, and this is quite common when you move to places, rural areas such as Terego, you will be able to witness in the deep ends, you will find people sit on these benches that they call sofa sets as early as 7. They're already within the trading centers doing nothing, but it is the women who go into the gardens. So I think this is something that we really need to condemn, because food is something that we really need to ensure that we continue feeding, because feeding is something that will never stop, because if we do not do that, then definitely in the near future, which may not be very far, because the population is keeping on increasing, and with the increasing population also, the areas that we are used for food production also are now being turned into settlement areas. So I think this is also something that we should be worried or scared of. But really, we also need to put the land that is still in plenty, because if you move some of these places, you'll find that the land is still idle, and heavy chunks of land are not being put into production, and people are now moving from other places, and really they're coming to invest in agriculture, which is not really quite good. And if you move to areas of Bongi, there's an investor there who came from somewhere, but is really now achieving when it comes to issues of planting. Here he's planting, do you understand that he's planting watermelons, and is really earning, and for people, we do not know about this. We are lying idle, we are leaving the land to just be like that, and we are selling it cheaply to them. So I think this is something really we also need to ensure that we really have our say on. We really need to ensure that we really continue doing food production, because the food festival, without the food that is being produced, who are going to be there for the food festival? Because people come to eat. In most cases, they come to eat. And this is where also, which is quite good, because if we do not know how to cook, I really wonder how you will get married. And this is quite good for the daughters of the soil. And really, cooking is something that is really quite good, because a delicious food may keep your people around. People may not want to leave your home because of the delicious food that you cook. So I think this is also quite good, because it trains the young girls. It teaches them how to really ensure that they cook, because if they do not really teach them, then it will be quite sad. It will be quite unfortunate. And really, we also want to call upon everybody to emulate the same. Other tribes can also do the same and have the food festival. And the food festers, really, we also want to congratulate you for sparing your time to come and share your knowledge, because we did see some of you really coming in place with your colleagues. We did see you also coming and attending, which was also quite good, quite appreciated. And really, because the ordinary person may not be understanding when it comes to investment, because you may actually be able to invest in food. And these are the hotels. And I told you, food is something that will never lack market, because each and every day people feel hungry and they really have to eat, and that is where we really want to call upon everybody to see to it that the next food festival we are keeping our eyes on, and really we hope it is going to be like the one of yesterday, or perhaps better than the one of yesterday, because really I was so much amazed about the event and I did not know about it. It was my first time to know about the food festival. I was able to really be excited because of the organization, and I was really entertained by the artists who came in place. But one artist that really shocked me was the surprising artist, the boy who is not, I shouldn't say is mad, but he is not mentally okay, but I believe he is the one that really amazed and made my day, because when he asked for the opportunity to perform, people were really so much happy about him, because he was able to move the crowd because of his singing, and he was really singing a gospel song, and afterwards he requested for his 10,000, because I also believe he actually got the morale. He was inspired by the artists who had maybe established themselves, because they were able to also receive gifts such as money. So I think this mad boy also really benefited from this event, because this event was for everybody. It was not for one person. And with that, really, we are running out of time. I can see we are remaining with about 4 minutes to 8 a.m. And with that, we are going to be running for another short break. And when we return back, we shall be able to also pick up with the conversion there. We still have lots more in stock, and where we're also going to be giving and discussing with you. And in case you have anything you want to comment, maybe in line to what some of the things that we have discussed on the show today, you can use our various social media generating platforms. For instance, on Facebook, we are on West Nile TV Kokoliriko live show. You can really drop your comments there. Then secondly, you can also use our YouTube link to also share your opinions, and we're also on the various platforms. For instance, for those of you on the WhatsApp platform, you can drop your comment there as well. I will be able to really also see it and share it with the rest of the viewers. And not forgetting those who are on X, you can also use that platform maybe and drop your comments there, and I will be able to really pick up and share with the rest of the viewers. But for now, let me first run in for a short commercial break, and when I return back, we shall be able to also pick up with more on the conversions there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with Star Times upgrade to Kongere promotion. Normal customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings, Copper Bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
I wanna wish you a Merry Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Hi everyone, my name is Lilian. I host Real Talk on West Nile TV every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. And I know this time of the year is when we get together with friends, family, our loved ones to make merry and have fun, share joy and love. I would love to wish you a Merry Christmas, and also caution you to be very careful during this season because a lot of excitement takes place around this time. So we should be careful how we, party, and especially how we use the road, because around this time a lot of accidents do occur. So use the road carefully so that it's a safe place for everyone. Otherwise, from West Nile TV, thank you so much for watching us. Keep watching us for more updates and enjoy your Christmas. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
This is time for working hard and producing and able to help somebody who is in need. Able to give to your loved ones. This is time for giving, for God so loved us and gave his only begotten Son. Do not go taking, give, and then you will receive. If you are planning to rob somebody, listen to me carefully, God is not happy with that. If you are planning to steal people's things, God is not happy with that. Destroy everything that makes you an enemy of your neighbor. It's only God who can destroy those tendencies in your life and that habit in your life, so that instead of taking, you are a giver, because we need to demonstrate love in our time. Again, this is not time for sexual immorality, but this is time for us to prepare ourselves to receive the blessing of God. Many of us are going to waste our bodies in going into people's homes and going with people's wives and going with people's daughters, and we are going to waste our lives out there. Listen, this is time for you to open your heart, open your hands, and receive the blessing of God. I speak to people who are listening to me. If you're listening to me and you are in West Nile, my region, will you make your body the temple of the Holy Spirit and guard it? Allow your body to be used to bless our region. Do not destroy somebody's relationship by misusing his wife or his daughter. Allow yourself to be a channel of blessing, because God brings you his life in order to bless other people. Again, this is not time for dancing the whole night. Some people are going to go into dancing spree, in discos and everything the whole night. In my place where I am seated, the devil has only given and deprived people who are wizards to dance at night. Why do they dance at night? Because they dance naked, which they can't do during the day. Why are you deprived of sleep? When you should eat and drink and praise God and go to bed and sleep, then go and worship God tomorrow without an hangover. Dancing at night, going to spend time out there with other women, with other girls, with other men, is not going to give you any benefit of celebrating such a day as this. And this is the time for praises. This is a time for worship of God, because God has given us a gift that we cannot afford.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We already some few minutes into 8 a.m., which is our second hour of the show. That is the Kokoliriko Live every Mondays to Fridays. And today my name is Farish Majid, and we are going to be driving the show like this up the hour of that is 9 a.m. and at 9 that is when we shall also be leaving way for the Lubara News with Feta Emmanuel and the team who will be able to really also give you what is happening in the world of news, that is the Liberty News. And really I can see them organizing and preparing a lot when it comes to the news building. So I also want to encourage you to be waiting for them, and this is for the Lubara community, and this is for the who understand the language, and this is where also we really want to tell you that they're already organizing, they're already cooking enough for you when it comes to the Liberty News, and that is it. And now I also want to thank whoever has been watching the show right from the time we began, and in a special way I want to thank Ikosk Roberts all the way from Kawempe. You have not stated for us where you are watching us exactly, which part of Kawempe, because Kawempe division is so big. It also has so many other areas. Talking about so many areas, we have Kawempe Kazo, we have Kawempe Tula. Kawempe is so huge, you have not really stated for us where you're watching us from, but in a special way, we want to recognize you and thank you so much for watching the Kokoliriko live show with me, Farish Majid. This is the way we give you the morning updates. I also want to thank Alfred Jawok, who is our food commando, our ambassador, who is in Zombo. He was able to really capture and report for us what the event was all about. And for those who watch the news bulletin, you will really see how colorful the event was. And Alfred Jawok was in attendance. We also want to thank you so much, brother, for the good job that you did yesterday when it comes to covering the food festival. And I also want to thank whoever turned up for the event once more, whoever graced the event and never missed the event, because really it was quite huge, it was quite good. So I think I also want to encourage everybody watching. You can also really show us where you're watching us from by just using our various social media platforms. For instance, YouTube. You can be able to drop your comment there. We should also be in place to really share them with the rest of the viewers who are really watching us this hour of the morning, because it is a bright morning in a raw city with no signs of rainfall. And really this is where so many things are happening, because so many people have been praying for this period, and this is for the people who are currently engaging in bricklaying. Really they did pray for this period. Now it is here. That is why we are seeing so many people indulging in bricklaying, and this is an activity that actually can also be a boost to keep the youths busy, because we have seen them really quite engaged in the activity of bricklaying. And I also want to thank them, because this is also a period where they can earn something small, because sometimes they're lying redundant within the training centers because they have nothing to do. Now that the period of bricklaying is here, we do not expect somebody to be going for robbery, because robbery of people's property has mostly been done by the youths, mostly who use bodabodas, who use motorcycles, who have been grabbing people's phones, people's handbags, and this has been done by the youths. And really I also want to really call upon them now to engage in bricklaying, which is an activity that actually could generate for them incomes for the various needs that they need, because as a youth I believe sometimes we also have so many needs really without less that we can do. So I think this is also where I want to call upon the youths really to engage in this activity that is currently ongoing. And if you have to move within most of the places, really you can see people already engaging in bricklaying, and actually women are already earning from it because they're the ones that fetch the waters, and the boys and the girls perhaps are also likewise earning from it. So I think I want to encourage everybody to really keep themselves busy, because for the school children you can actually also engage yourselves right now, because at the end of the day this will be one area that will help you to also get your needs. So I think this is something that really would also help the youths when it comes to issues of earning, because without it we are not going to be doing so many things. And recently, and moving away from that now, so many things that have been happening within the region. And before we really move out of the region, I also wanted to really talk small about something shooting that did take place within the festive season. This was on 31st, where two UPD officers attached to Lamogi police post in Yumbe district were able to really shoot and injure one civilian within the area. And these officers had actually gone to really stop a disco that was taking place within the area. And according to the information that we received, they really had to shoot because people had refused to leave away from the place. And in their activity of shooting, the bullets were not able to also spare one of the citizens, because for a bullet it moves. Whether you're a general, whether you're an imam, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a journalist like me, sometimes when it comes towards you, it may not spare your life. So this was also able to really attack one of the youths within the area and injured them. And now two police officers attached to that is Lamogi police post have been apprehended. They have been arrested and now they are in custody. So I think the Northwestern Region Police Post, PRO, that is Ignatius Dagudu, was able to really comment about this event, and he did say these people were actually arrested as a result of them going to stop a disco, and they were, as they were shooting in the air to disperse the people who had refused to leave the place, because there was really something that was not quite well. Because sometimes the organizers, why would these people really come and really disperse you? Why would they really come and really want to stop the discos? That means that we did not really follow certain rules, and this is to the organizers of the local discos, the local derbies that have really been a mess to our children. Really, these local derbies have really created more harm than good, because yes, we want to enjoy as much as we want to have ourselves entertained, but some of the impacts of these local derbies have really been so much affecting us. When you talk about issues of defilement, rape, cases of theft have actually been witnessed mostly when it comes to these issues of local derbies. They have really been contributing greatly to this. So I think I also want to call upon the organizers to ensure that all the security measures that the security operatives call for are really fulfilled and ensured, so that at the end of the day, really issues of people losing their properties, people really committing crimes are really addressed. Because if we do not really have these issues followed, then that is when we're also going to be engaging ourselves in running battles with security operatives. For instance, Uganda police and UPDF officers, this is where we're also going to be seeing people also being injured in terms of stray bullets. So I think we expect justice, and for the young man, he's about 19 years old, I believe. We also expect him to get justice, because these are people who had come to enjoy. Sometimes I believe they had come to enjoy, but now the bullets, we are not able to spare them. And really, we also want to also now call upon the security operatives to use alternative means, maybe or in form of tear gas, perhaps, because within Arua City we did see tear gas being shot at some of the happening places on the 31st. This was to disperse the crowd that was getting out of hand. And really, this also did control, and this festive season was, I should say, was not that quite bad when in terms of security, though we lost some lives here and there. And really, it was, we did see security doing their work. We also want to commend them. We cannot leave them, because really they did their part to ensure that the crime rate within this festive season was really reduced, because this also really contributed to the security that we really talk about today, because not so many lives were lost within this period, not so many cases were reported, but this was due to also the efforts by the security, because they were able to take patrols within the city, and this was really something that also was quite good. And now moving away from that issue of the police shooting, and now we want to head to issue of the UPDF helicopter crash that was in Toroko, where we did lose also one of our sons that is from Yumbe district. The captain, the flight captain, actually was our own. He is a son of the soil from Yumbe district, where we did lose his life. And now the family members actually really commented about this issue. One of the family members did speak yesterday that he has been really he has been a breadwinner, and according to the information we have got, at least 3 people have been confirmed dead after a military helicopter gunship crashed in the general areas of Karungutu. This was in Toroko district, and this incident happened on Tuesday, according to the people we really also did see them talk about when it comes to this area here. And according to the locals, the helicopter really first knocked a house before falling and crashing into pieces, and before it also catching fire. And this is where we did really see these people really also losing their lives. And now the UPDF spokesperson, Brigadier Felix Kulaiji, has commented about this. He has said it is true the UPDF helicopter crashed, and the helicopter had 2 occupants, and they all died. These are heroes, and he really contributed. He also really appreciated them for participating in the struggle to pacify our western frontier of the dreadful ADF terrorists. And this really also we do understand that they were heading to command an operation against the ADF, and these are the rebels that are really terrorizing within the western areas. If you have to look at areas of Toroko, Kasese, and these are the areas, because that part of western Uganda, that is where you find, that is in Toroko, you find Kasese. These areas have very much been hit by ADF attacks. So I think this is also something that really it is quite regrettable, and we pray for their souls to rest in peace, because these are heroes indeed. they were really trying to do their work to see to that the area becomes peaceful, because last year, if you remember, due to the regrettable incident that was believed to be done by the ADF, where they attacked innocent children in the school, where we did see innocent young girls and boys losing their lives, which was quite regrettable, because some of the operations of the ADF officials are sometimes really quite good, they're really quite unfortunate. They're quite regrettable because they may not be able to spare who exactly is, because they really attack innocent children, and you can really wonder how these innocent children who will be future leaders are really going to really suffer because of that, because this is something that we really need to condemn, and they were actually heading to have an operation against the ADF, and I believe this was one of the helicopters that was really doing surveillance. It was moving on air before it happened, it crashed. We did not understand what happened exactly to it and the exact cause of the crash, but we really hope to keep you updated when that information arises. We shall be able to also inform you of what really caused this crash for the helicopter. Could it have been that it was shot by the rebels? Could it have been that he had a mechanical problem? That is what we don't know at the moment, but we shall really keep you updated when it comes to that issue there, because if we do not ensure that, then that is really going to be quite unfortunate. It's going to be quite regrettable. And now, really, so many things have been happening, and the National Scene Still Electoral Commission has extended the election of LC1 and LC2 chairpersons again by another 6 months. What does this mean for the incumbents? It means that their period in office is still being extended. What about those who really want to take over the offices, who have been yearning for these offices for quite a long period of time? Because I do understand that it is not the very first time that these people really have been extending these elections. Recently, we did extend them. We did see the Electoral Commission extending them, and now again we are extending them, and this is all because of the issue of lack of funds. The Electoral Commission claims that the funds are not there to organize these elections. And what does this mean for the people who are holding the stamps? And remember, the last time LC1 and LC2 elections were held, some people actually refused to hand over the stamps, which is the symbol, which is the epitome of authority. Some people refused, some of the LC1 and LC2 chairpersons refused to hand them over. And now we are seeing them, because this is an indication that people also want those offices. Some of the people are not happy that these elections are going to be extended. Now, Electoral Commission actually also this week did come out clearly, and they really say that the monies are not there. So what do we expect of these people who have really been waiting to take over these offices? These are the LC1s and LC2 chairpersons of the various villages, because they are the charges of the areas. They are the head of security. They are the head of the big bosses of the areas, because an LC1 chairperson is literally the president of the area. So I think they have the powers. And with the extension of the period again by another 6 months, now we are talking about January. They have been extended from January, and they have been pushed. And this means that they will be pushed up to June. This is when we expect the elections maybe to be held. And this is not the first time we're actually seeing these elections being extended. This could be the third time, if I'm not mistaken. What does this mean for the ordinary? What does this deprive maybe the locals of, who may want to be part of these elections, who may want to vote, who may be tired of the persons behind their leadership? Because not everybody may be happy of your leadership. Some may be able to really be tired of what you're doing. So I think this is something that we want to put our focus on. This is something we're following up on, and we want to see when Electoral Commission will actually put the proper date to have these elections organized, because once these elections are not organized, they are going to keep people illegal in offices. And now they're not legal because the elections are not there. They have not been done. So these people will remain in office. They will still have the instruments of power. They will still have the authority to really continue again for another 6 months. Maybe that is when the elections will really be organized. And this is where we really want to also call upon everybody to see to it that the elections that are really organized, once they're organized, people engage ourselves, we really engage ourselves, we really participate, because people whom we are entrusting with these offices, I do understand some of the LC1s and LC2 chairpersons are actually people who are incompetent, yes. And this is actually the time that they will be pushed out and have offices for and have time for other people, and others are competent. And for the competent ones, maybe this was time to renew their terms of office legally, because with the elections, with the votings, if people vote you in office, you will know that people love you, and really your work will be quite easy. And that means that people appreciate what you do. And that this is where I also want to really interest myself with, and I want to call upon the government to organize these elections, because some of these LC2 chairpersons have become really greedy. They have become stubborn. They have become they have grown wings because they feel that they cannot be pushed out. And now some of the opposition members have actually also commented about the same, that they are saying, what they are saying is that this is an intentional move. It is a plan by the ruling government to see to it that they keep on extending the times of the LC1s and LC2 chairperson elections, because majority of them are actually subscribing to the NRM, and most of them actually have been agents of the ruling government. This is according to information that the opposition members have been saying, because they really believe this organization of the elections would have been done if it was really supposed to be done, but they did not accept the issues of resources. But what they are saying is this is an intentional move. It is something that is really planned. It is something that is intentional, something that is the ruling government wants to do. So I think this is also where we also expect the elections to be organized quick and faster. This is also where really I want to call upon everybody to ensure that we interest ourselves with these elections. We really want to also call upon everybody to see to it that now we also have time for these elections, because once we do not organize these elections properly, then we are bound to be really seeing our people suffer, because some of the people who are interested in these offices are not worthy. They do not even understand sometimes what they are doing. So I think this is also quite something that is quite unfortunate, that is quite regrettable, and this is also something whereby I want to really also call upon everybody to really ensure that they engage, they have following of these elections, because once we are talking about being extended by 6 months, that means that we shall be having these next elections maybe in June, because if we start counting from January, this is the first month, the next 6 months will be June. So I think we also want to really call upon everybody to ensure that the elections are organized, because these elections without resources, I also believe they cannot be able to really go on, because we need presiding officers to witness these elections. We need polling agents who have to be paid by money from government. So I think without money, you can just imagine how many villages are there. I believe over 11,000 villages in place. So I think these all need the monies to really fund elections, because you have polling agents, you have presiding officers who will have to oversee these elections, and these people will have to be paid. And this is where we may not be able to have the elections right now, and that's why we may also be able to have them extended for again some 6 months. That is when we expect really them to really ensure that they are organized. So I think this is something that really I also want to call upon everybody to have a following, because if you do not vote in these elections, then the person you are entrusting the office with may not do the right things, and you have no way to blame them. The only way you can actually push them out of the office, out of that power, is through the elections, which you have to register for, and people have to identify you. And in most cases, these elections are actually organized by lines, where we did see the last time was actually through lining, where people had to line behind you. And if you had a following, and if you had people who love you, and this is where you actually had to benefit from. And for those people who had huge families, and this is where actually I was amazed. If you had a huge following, your family members could actually all line behind you, your relatives. And this is actually where it gave them advantage also to beat their opponents. So I think this is the way these elections were organized last time, and really compared this time around, now we expect ballot papers now, because these issues of lining really contribute to divisionism among people, because somebody will know it is you who did not vote for me. And this is where the quality of elections can also be affected, because sometimes somebody will not want to vote you necessarily without showing you, because we have seen some of these things happening where we did see people aspiring and they lost. And this is in open. This is where we do not see open elections, and this is where we see the ballots. This is where we see the advantage of ballot stuffing, where we see the advantage of ballots rather than lining, because lining creates some disunity, because so people will be able to identify whoever did not vote for them. So I think this is something that we really also want to interest ourselves with. We shall keep you updated when the next elections will really take place. That is when we shall also be able to inform you when in the next developments, because these are information that we get from the government, we expect them to really come up and clearly explain why these elections are taking long. And remember, the women elections also did take long, just like the S1 and the S2 chairpersons, and up now they have not been voted. I believe they also extended by again some period. And till when shall we be seeing these elections being extended? And now that we are running out of time, because we're in 2024, we're just counting very few years to 2026. Does it mean that by 2026 we shall have another voting again, because these people really have to work for 5 years. According to our constitution, they have to serve for 5 years. That's when the next elections will be organized. And in Uganda, our next general election will be able to take place, that is 2026, which is not very far from now. We're in 2024. That means that we are really in the period. That is why you're seeing so many people moving here and around, moving here and there to see to it that they organize before the declaration by Electoral Commission to have open campaigns. But what we do understand is now that what is going on ground is actually a manifestation that people already in the period, people are yearning, people are preparing for 2025, because this is when we see the primary elections. This is when we start seeing preparations for 2026, which is the general elections, for the parliamentary, for the presidential, for the other various leaders. This is where we do see them actually preparing, because they start preparations now. You may not necessarily come up and declare intentions of aspiring when that year comes. People start actually showing them now. This is where people also do really want to express their opinions, want to express their interests. And with the LC1s and S2 elections, still the issues of their payments has always been a challenge, because according to information we got, these people really earn 10,000. And you can really imagine how much 10,000 is and how it is going to affect the quality of work that these people do, because a monthly salary of 10,000, which at times also takes long to come, may also be able to deter and affect the quality of service that the person may be able to put out. But we do understand that they have actually been, those who have been possessing the stamps, most especially the secretaries, because some of the LC1 chairpersons do not have time, others do not know how to read, but because of the wisdom, maybe people voted for them, but it is the secretaries that have actually been helping them, because we have had this ever since time immemorial, because these LCs, some of them have served ever since they were elected. And this is quite something that is quite unfortunate. Others have actually served more than 30 years in office. So I think they have also gotten old. They have gotten, they need replacement, yes. They need to move and also give the office for the young people who may have the interest, who may also be having the capability of taking the leadership of the areas, of the wards to the next level. Because if they do not do this, then they are going to keep them in office. And this also affects the quality of the service that maybe they may be able to put out when it comes to service delivery. And now the LC1's elections still, they are really, these people have been raising challenges of money, because you're paying somebody 10,000, but the deals that come to this person's office, maybe in terms of land transactions, maybe in terms of getting stamps for, that is why they keep on infringing on the rights of the citizens who go for their services. Maybe when it comes to asking for police letters, LC referrals, you know, these things sometimes they need LC letters, more so when you're supposed to move the goats and animals from one place to another. Sometimes they need recommendation from the LC1 chairpersons, and sometimes when you also need to get the other documents, for instance passport, sometimes also they ask for recommendation from the LC1s. So I think if these people are not paid very well, this is where they have been earning, and this is where they will keep on infringing on the rights of the citizens. So I think these people's monies also need to be really paid just before the next elections, because these issues need to be addressed, because if they are not addressed, they will be able to really affect on the quality of service that they will be able to really put out. So I think the LC1 elections is something that is really, is something that we also need to interest ourselves with, the LC1s and LC2 chairperson elections. If we do not really ensure that we talk about them, if they're not organized, what does this mean for the people who are really waiting for these offices? Because some people may be there waiting for the next chance. And this is to the young ones, the young generation, the youths. We are talking about the youths. Most of the LC1s are actually old people. Can the youths do the work of LCs? Can they really take up the mandate of steering up the leadership of the areas where they stay? So I think this is also something that really we need to engage ourselves with, and maybe in the next election I may also be able to aspire as the LC1 chairperson. So I think, but that is a joke. I'm not so serious about the elections. I do not even think that I can become an LC1, because really, most of these LC ones have been old. But in my life, I've never seen a young LC except one who was really, when he addressed himself as an LC, this was within city. And the people who were there really got shocked. They were really doubting if really he is an LC1 chairperson. And this is one area where we also want to call upon the youth to engage themselves in. And in case you're just joining us right now, you are most welcome for the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV. Today is the Thursday edition, and today is the 4th day of January. And from wherever you are watching us from, you are most welcome to the Kokoliriko live show. Today, my name is Farish Majid, and remember, this show comes every Mondays to Fridays. That is from 7 a.m. to that is 9 a.m. And today, really, we have discussed a number of issues rising from the region up the national scene, where we have been hinting here and there. And for those who also shared your opinions, for those who thanked us, we also want to thank you in a special way. For instance, the likes of Alfred Jawok in Zombo. Yes, he's one of our reporters. He is based that side, and he was also able to really share his opinions. Then there's Roberts from Kawempe, who was also able to really share his opinions, also thank us for bring the morning updates, because this is West Nile Television. We're here to enlighten the region, and one way we are to enlighten the region is actually by also giving you what is happening within the region. We also have to be in the know of what is happening within your vicinities, because some people may be able to also watch us from abroad. For those of you who are watching us from overseas and you want to really have a feeling of what is back home, then West Nile Television Kokoliriko Live Show is the platform where you will be able to get the information according to what you really want to be in the know of. And with that, we are going to be running for a short commercial break, and that will be able to usher us for the last half of the show, because this is actually the third half, and we are remaining with only one half. That is from 7:30 to, that is from 8:30 to, that is the hour of 9. Then we shall be able to pave way for the Lubarati News team that is led by Fete Emmanuel. But today it will be anchored by, that's Mukulia Lawrence, who is already in place, also prepared and fully engaged to sit with that. He gives you what is happening in the world of Lubarati News. But for now, let me first run in for a short commercial break, and when I return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversion from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with Star Times upgrade to Kongere promotion. Novel customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings, Copper Bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Hi Hi everyone, my name is Ayot Lillian. I host Real Talk on West Nile TV every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. And I know this time of the year is when we get together with friends, family, our loved ones to make merry and have fun, share joy and love. I would love to wish you a Merry Christmas, and also caution you to be very careful during this season because a lot of excitement takes place around this time, so we should be careful how we party, and especially how we use the road, because around this time a lot of accidents do occur. So use the road carefully so that it's a safe place for everyone. Otherwise, from West Nile TV, thank you so much for watching us. Keep watching us for more updates and enjoy your Christmas. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
Hello everybody watching West Nile Television. My name is Farish Majid. I'm a news anchor and a news reporter at West Nile TV, as I said earlier on. From me to you this festive season, let's ensure that we remain vigilant. Vigilance is all we need to remain safe during this period. From me to you, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
It's a pleasure having you on board for the Kokoliriko live show. In case you're just joining us right now, this is the morning updates with me, Farish Majid. And in case you are just joining us right now, in a special way, I want to welcome you on board. And this is where we give you some of the headlines, some of the discussions on issues that are trending on the papers, maybe on the various platforms, where we also discuss and share opinions, and we also bring guests sometimes to really explain and discuss on the issues, maybe on the topics that have been trending. This is where we bring them to also explain to you, the viewer. And today, I also want to thank whoever is watching right from the time we began till this time. We are still continuing. It is our last hour. It is our last segment, and this is our last half of the show, because from 8:30, that is to 9, this marks our last hour of the show, and this is where we also want to also put some of the issues that we have been discussing. And in the first hour and the first segments, we discussed issues in relation to the Bujingo shooting. We also did talk about the installation of the solar lights. We also did not leave out the food festival that did take place yesterday, the 6th edition. We are talking about the 6th edition that did take place yesterday. We also talked about them, and we also talked about the URA shootings. We lamented slightly about the helicopter crash, the UPDF that was heading to Toroko. That was in Toroko. So I think we also did talk about so many others. And now we are still continuing with the discussion. In case you are just joining us right now, in a special way, once more, I want to welcome you on board. And this is where we give you what happens in and around your vicinities, that is with the morning updates. And today, my name is Farish Majid, and I'm alone. But tomorrow, I hope to be joined by a guest where we shall be able to really discuss and have a say on some of the issues that may be happening in your vicinities, and maybe some of the issues that you feel that we also need to discuss, and maybe we have left out that may be trending You can also use our various social media platforms and share your opinions there, because this is West Nile Television. We're here to enlighten the region, and one way we are to enlighten the region is actually through talking issues that affect us, and these are issues that happen within our vicinities as West Nile. So I think if you have anything that maybe you want to see us discuss when it comes to West Nile, you can use our various social media platforms. You can use the various, in fact, you not also have to limit yourself to social media alone. You can use the other various feedback generating platforms, such as YouTube also. We shall be able to really see and share your views maybe with the other rest of the viewers. So I think this is where I want to call upon everybody. And now moving on with the discussions, authorities in Tororo are investigating the suffocation of 2 babies to death. That is at Tororo General Hospital. This is quite shocking. This happened during the festive season, where the medics actually abandoned the health facilities really to really go and have time maybe with their families, but they did not actually leave people behind. And this is where we did see innocent young children losing their lives. And some of the mothers, we were able to see their children die as a result of lack of oxygen. And this is for the young premature babies who were in incubators. So I think this is also something that was quite regrettable. It is one issue that has been trending on the national scene. And I also felt that we also need to discuss slightly about it, because if we do not really talk about these issues, because what is happening in Tororo is not very far. It may also hit the other various hospitals. So I think we talk about this so that it enlightens. It also warns the other would-be neglecting medical officers. So I think we also want to really call upon everybody to ensure that they take up their mandate, they ensure they fulfill their duties within this period, because if they do not do that, because other medical personnel did not have leave, I believe medical personnel rarely have no leave, because according to the training, they are training you, even if when they are teaching you, just like journalism, they are training you to work at all circumstances, at all times. But according to the information we got, because these children who died, who suffocated due to lack of oxygen, actually perished because of negligence of medical officers who left the facility at night, and during the day nobody was able to show up. And this is where we also did see these young children losing their lives in front of their parents, and this is quite inhuman. Why would you leave and not really come when knowing that your absence is going to affect and lose lives? And this would actually be the next people maybe who will be able to replace you in the near future, who will be able to also help your children. And as medical personalities, this is something that I want to warn you about, because you are handling sensitive part of the society. The medical department is one that is quite sensitive. You are handling that critical area and you are absconding from duty, which is quite unfortunate. This is also quite regrettable. So I think I also want to really caution upon everybody who is maybe in this profession, who may not be wanting to do their work, because if you do not really, or if you didn't want to really do the work, why would you really apply for these jobs? Yet there are so many doctors out there who would want to work within this period there, and yet you are being paid. And sometimes you also come up and really claim that you need more monies to pay for your salaries. Why would you keep on demanding for these salaries when you know you're absconding from duty? Now your negligence, your absence from duty is now making innocent young children lose lives, which is quite regrettable, which is quite unfortunate. So I think this issue that really happened in Tororo is quite regrettable, and the Tororo Deputy Resident District Commissioner has ordered an investigation after 2 babies painfully died under unclear circumstances in the neonatal unit at Tororo General Hospital. And this is according to Albert Amula, who on Wednesday led a team of district leaders together with government officials to the hospital, and was shocked to learn that the daytime death occurred as medical workers neglected duty. And this is really quite shocking. And according to information that we got last year during the Premature World Day, there was actually an indication that over 400 newborn babies die every week in Uganda. You can just imagine the population now, over 400 newborn babies. And this revelation was made last year during the World Premature Day celebrations. And 400 is not an ordinary number, it is quite huge. It's a number that is quite big, and really something that we also want to condemn the medics to really also ensure that they work, because if the equipment is there, what other challenge do you have? What makes you abscond from duty? What reason do you have to leave duty and not come for work? And that is really something that we really want to warn the medics. And because if your negligence is making people lose their innocent babies, and the innocent babies are losing their lives, and this will be the next leaders of tomorrow. These will be the next presidents. These will be the next doctors. This will be the next journalists. And we are making them lose their lives as early as that age. Then this is quite regrettable, because these children are born out of their will. To born somebody premature is not by will. Yes, even the mothers do not want to produce children before time. They really want to also ensure that the children grow up in their wombs up to 9 months, but sometimes due to circumstances, the children are forced to come out prematurely. So I think this is why the neonatal department is quite critical. It is quite key. It is quite important at the medical facilities, and that is why we also do not expect, maybe if it was a negligence or maybe other stakeholders. For instance, if it was power, we would say yes. If oxygen had run out of facility, we would say yes, but we would blame the government. But now we are not going to blame the government. We are going to blame you, the medics who are on duty. So we expect these medics to be brought to book. We expect them to receive the punishment that they deserve, so that next time there would be intending officers who would also want to abscond from duty can pick a lesson from. So I think this is something that I really want to interest myself with. I also want to warn everybody that is really talking about these issues here. So I want to encourage everybody to see to it that these issues of people absconding from duty, because I do understand that the festive season, yes, you had time to, you really also needed time to have rest with your family members, with your children, with your other relatives. But really, why would you really live without ensuring that the means is proper, without laying proper strategies to see that if you are leaving, somebody replaces you? According to information we got, actually one of the mothers who preferred anonymity, who preferred not to be mentioned in here, actually did clearly say that she witnessed the child die in her presence. It was in her broad daylight. She was able to see her child die because she had nothing to do. She does not have the experience of maybe connecting the oxygen, and that forced her to live, and that forced her to witness the child die. And this is where we also want to really call upon everybody to ensure that this is something that does not happen, does not repeat itself, because according to information we had last year, 400 is quite huge, it is quite big, and really I want to call upon everybody to ensure that they really stop these issues of children dying from negligence of medical personnel, because if the oxygen is there, what other reason do you have for absconding from duty? So I think that is something that is quite regrettable, and something that we really expect the officers from Tororo to really also really have something to say. And the whistleblower accused the hospital staff of abandoning health facility during the festive season. Yes, this is something I was talking about. People absconding from duty within the festive season. We do understand. People want to have time and celebrate and also enjoy the festive season. And with that, we are going to put the discussions on hold for today. And in a special way, I want to thank whoever watched us from the time we began. Till this time, we are closing with a discussion. Today, this has been the morning updates on Kokoliriko Live Show with me, Farish Majid. And in a special way, I allow me thank whoever watched us from the time we began till the time we are coming to close with the discussions. And today, being the Thursday and 4th edition of the Kokoliriko for this week, and we shall be able to return tomorrow, hopefully, and we shall be able to also give you more when it comes to the issues of the updates of issues that are trending, maybe the discussions that on various media platforms. We shall be able to really bring them here and discuss with you. And remember, you can also participate on the discussions by using our various social media platforms. But for today, I will allow me stop here and pave way for the Liberty News with Mukulia Lawrence, who is already getting set. And with that, I allow me thank you for now. I'm out. Goodbye.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.